Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not sharing my lottery money with my boyfriend? And this one kind of involves a controlling boyfriend, potentially financial abuse. It's hard to really say. I'm a 19-year-old female, and I've recently won a lottery in my state, and I'm shaking right now. It wasn't a big amount of money, but it could certainly be enough to get my future kids through university. I originally planned on putting the money into a trust fund for my future kids. We planned on having kids when we're older. When my boyfriend, a 32-year-old male of 1 year who I adore, heard the news and he was full on shaking with rage. He said that money should go to him as he was the breadwinner. I quit my job after I moved in with him. My boyfriend is the sole breadwinner. He went on about for an hour saying that he spent the day in and day out making a living for us, and the least I could do was give him that money. I was honestly shaking. I don't know what to really say. I've never seen him like this before. I snapped at him and told him that it was my money and that his input isn't necessary. After that, it got worse and I just packed up my stuff and left. I'm currently at my sister's and she says that I don't owe him anything. My BFF agrees with her, but my brother says that he's right and that I should give him the money. I used to think that I was in the right, but I'm having second thoughts. After all, he is the one who works while I just cook and clean for him. So, am I the jerk? Edit. You guys were right. The frantic calling and messaging has begun. I know you guys think that he's just manipulating me, but I don't think so. He seems genuine. I don't know what to do anymore. Should I reply to him? All right, folks. What do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, and do not go back to that man.
OP, the thing is like money does strange things to people. There seems to be some power dynamics at play here, and it's a little concerning. Like the fact that it doesn't, I don't know if he's not allowing you to work or if you're just choosing not to work, but you don't seem to have any plans on working right now, but also having kids and whatnot. So I don't know what exactly your long term plans are, but if he's preventing you from working, then that's a pretty big red flag. If he's trying to control your life, I think that's a pretty big red flag too. I think you should really examine your situation and talk to, a counselor and try to figure out if what you have here is an abusive relationship, because there could certainly be things from your writing here that are kind of hidden from you. You might not be able to see the forest for trees. So I think it's really important that you get an outside perspective here and try to evaluate this relationship and figure out whether or not this is like even a good relationship to begin with, right? So I know that he has not acted like this before, but I think he's showing his true colors, if anything. And someone who, full on rages at you because they think that they deserve your lottery winnings or something that you won, I think is a pretty big red flag in its own. I don't think that there's much salvaging this relationship at this point in time, period. Even though you're not married, right? He wants to treat your assets like they're his. And I think that's problematic because he should be happy for you that you won the lottery, not being angry that you won this lottery money. And you weren't even going out and spending the money on yourself, which is the most mind-boggling part of this. You were trying to put the money into a trust for your children, future children that you wanted. So I think that this shows that there's probably going to be a lot more of this type of behavior in the future, and I don't think that that's a good situation for you. So I certainly think that you should really evaluate this relationship, and I would seriously consider not going back. I don't think that it's going to be a good relationship for you. And one last kind of note, you probably should not save that money for a trust. I mean, you should try to save that money as much as you can, but try to use that money to better yourself and your future. Go to college. You're 19. You're not, you have a whole world ahead of you. You don't necessarily need to start, having kids. And maybe, college isn't for everyone, right? Or maybe you don't want to do college, but you should at least, pursue the workforce a little bit to see if there's something out there, some passion that you have that you want to do, right? There's a lot of stuff out there. I would seriously consider exploring, getting yourself in a better position in life. So, that's kind of what I think there. So anyhow, take care and good luck.
Well, and one other thing is that he's already shown that he undervalues her labor, like, because she's still contributing to the household.
So yeah, I definitely think that's a good point. It's like OP's still contributing to the household, but he does not view her contribution to the household as anywhere near equal, and I think that's also disconcerting. Bruh, OP, you're not the jerk at all. You're 19, he's 32 years old. He had you quit your job, he's socially isolating you and financially controlling you. You were 18 when you got together, you moved in quickly. Sweets, you're being way too nice about this. Run away from this guy and block him on everything. Your brother is a jerk for not seeing what's going on and trying to protect you. Look, you think this is enough money to get future kids through university, but how about you get yourself through university first and established and a career of some kind so that you can never again be dependent on someone else like that? She thinks he's genuine and wouldn't hurt her, but ignoring the big marinara flag of this 32-year-old man dating a 19-year-old woman fresh out of high school. I really hope OP doesn't give him any money because she owes him nothing. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not correcting my son when he told his stepfather / my husband off? I've been married to my husband Jeremy since my son Chris was 8. He's now 17, and my husband and him have a fantastic relationship despite what the title may sound like. My birthday is in 2 weeks, and I honestly haven't put much thought into it. My husband is not a gift giver. He says that he has a hard time figuring out what to get me and doesn't want to waste money on something that people won't use. He's also a practical person, whereas I'm by far more of the sentimental type. So even when he does get me something, it's something that I can use every day, which is no big deal, obviously, but I've requested some sentimental pieces and he just never gets them. So I pretty much gave up on ever asking for anything, and it really did bother me for a number of years, but it truly doesn't bother me now, usually. Well, my son graduated a year early and doesn't start college until next year. So currently he works 2 jobs, his choice. I've asked him to cut back and enjoy his teen years before adulthood, but working just makes him happy. So he works at a mechanic's shop and a junkyard. Most of his buddies work there too, so at least he's getting some time with his friends. Well, my husband hates spending money and tries inflicting that on us. He lives as frugally as physically possible and saves every single dime that he can. He could retire right this second and wouldn't be able to go through all of the money that he has saved. My son came home last night with 3 of his buddies that work with him, and he's like, I know it's not for 2 more weeks, but I can't wait for you to open this, so please open it now. Him and his buddies are snickering about it, so I thought it was going to be some kind of gag gift, but much to my surprise, it was a huge, absolutely gorgeous wall piece that had a photo framed and shelves built in. My husband immediately was like, wow, how much did that cost? That could have went into an IRA Roth account. I don't know if I said that right. My son immediately shoots cold daggers at my husband and says, It's truly none of your business what I do with my money, and since you outright refuse to buy my mother nice things that she absolutely deserves, I will make sure she gets something nice. And for the record, we made this ourselves and it didn't cost anything. My husband stops talking, looks at me, waits for me to say something. When I don't, he shakes his head and walks away. After the boys leave, he says I allowed Chris to embarrass him in front of other people and that I should have said something. I simply told him that Chris was right. Am I the jerk?
No.
All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
No, not the jerk.
I mean, if your actions cause you to become embarrassed because you're being a giant jerk, then maybe you deserve to be embarrassed by your actions. Like, you've made it abundantly clear, OP, that you like sentimental pieces, you like sentimental gifts, but he refuses to get you those. And your son is, one-upping him essentially, and not like in a, one game of one-upmanship, but he's showing that he can get you sentimental gifts, even if your husband can't. And I think your husband feels a little bit defensive about this, right? I think on top of the money quantity, I think like he also feels some kind of level of like embarrassment that he was able to get you something that you liked and were, enjoyed. And I am sorry that Mr. Krabs has been treating you poorly all of these years, but hopefully, you can convince Squidward and SpongeBob to come along at some point in time to, give you, you know, I don't know where I'm going with this. I think your son is SpongeBob. That's what I'm saying here. Oh no. Your son is SpongeBob and his friends are Patrick. So yeah, I don't think that you're a jerk in this situation. I think your husband is being overly sensitive. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, your son is almost a full adult who works two jobs. He shouldn't even be questioned where his money is going. It is in really bad taste to ask how much a gift costs, especially in front of the recipient. He embarrassed himself. Not the jerk, it appears you have raised a beautiful son who will one day make a wonderful, loving husband. And he's a handyman who could put things together. Win-win situation. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Being Mad at My Daughter and Thinking She's Actually Pretty Funny? This is such a ridiculous situation that I feel like a jerk for just posting it. But my wife is legitimately peeved, so Reddit, tell me if I'm being blinded by amusement to clearly see this is objectively funny and not worth punishing our kid over. I'm a 43-year-old male, and my father is a 64-year-old male, and used to love taking us on adventures as kids, but he slowed down recently. He still loves spending time with my daughter, a 12-year-old female. Okay, so dad decided to introduce daughter to his favorite childhood shows, and for whatever reason, she loves them. Star Trek, Bonanza, Andy Griffith Show, all of it. She's hooked. She thinks it's all fantastic. They're all fantastic shows. Okay, fun fact about my daughter. She loves Googling fun facts. Her favorite phrase is, did you know? Like, we'll drive past a sign saying we're X miles from some location, and she whips out her phone and is like, did you know X location is the salamander capital of the world? It's really cute and annoying at the same time. So last week she comes downstairs and says, did you know ABC made Burt Ward take some pills to shrink his junk? Totally deadpan. Didn't even crack. When I tell you, I wheeze. She showed me the article, and yep, they did. In the 60s, what a time. The wife was mad. She told the daughter never to use that word, and that we were going to wash her mouth out with soap. That was an empty threat. Daughter pouted and went about her day. Well, the next day she told dad, who didn't believe her at first and then absolutely lost it when he read the article that she pulled up. I can't remember the last time I saw him laugh that hard. Wife came out, heard the commotion, and asked what it was all about, and told daughter that if she brought this up again, that she would be in big trouble. Well, today, one of my wife's friends called while the girls were having a play date, and you'll never guess what my daughter did. You'll never guess in a million years. Go on, guess. Yeah, she told the story to her little friend who also thought it was hilarious. The mother did not. Wife is furious now and says that we need to come up with a punishment. I don't want to punish her. I think that if we stop making a big deal about it, she'll get bored of it eventually. Wife's argument is that she's doing it for attention. Duh, she's 12, but she's gonna learn about this stuff in health class soon anyways. Might as well get the giggles out of her system now. Am I the jerk for not supporting my wife and dragging my heels on punishing our daughter? Wife says that if I'm right, we at least need to punish her for disobeying us. I say the harder we come down, the more she will push back. Small update. Wife and I did end up agreeing by the time the daughter was dropped off not to punish her. Instead, we will reiterate some sex ed stuff and told her that it's important to keep the subject matter appropriate to the situation. She was receptive to these messages. Dad comes over for dinner almost every day, and he usually shows up early. So he got there a half hour ago, and daughter set up the TV and they start watching Batman on Tubi, of course. 5 minutes in, dad leans over to the daughter. Dad says daughter's name. Daughter says, yeah, grandpa. Dad says, I can see Robin's junk. Daughter and dad both lose it. I look at wife. Her face is totally blank. I can tell she's seething on the inside. She says that she's gonna go take a bubble bath. She's still in there, and I don't know if I should bring her a glass of wine to mellow her out or just leave her alone. Thanks, Dad. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
I think that she's treating this a little too seriously. Like, this is something that happened. It's historical, and she's getting enjoyment out of learning about some kind of historical fact. And I mean, the story behind this is actually really kind of funny. I'm probably not going to do it justice at all, but what ends up happening is Bert is and Batman and Robin during the 60s, they were filming these shows, and apparently like the Catholic Church was not happy with this show because of men in spandex, right? So, and they thought it was scandalizing. And so basically what ends up happening is they start putting pressure on ABC or CBS, I don't know, whatever channel this was. And basically they get really worried because this League of Catholic Entertainment, I don't remember what it was called exactly, was threatening to try getting them taken down off the air. And this is their cash cow, right? Batman and Robin is just earning the big bucks. And so they're really worried about this because they don't want to lose their primetime spots because all the local channels can choose their own scheduling and whatnot. So they're worried that the League of Catholic Entertainment or whatever it is going to come in and stop them. So they try some different things, and basically nothing really works. They keep getting complaints from them. So one day they approach Bert and they're like, Bert, we're going to give you these pills and it's going to make the problem go away. And these pills are chemical castration pills, right? And he takes them for a few days, and then he talks to Batman, and Batman's like, Bert, you gotta stop taking these pills, man. And so he stops taking them, and eventually the League of Catholic Entertainment, or whatever it's called, I know I keep saying that, eventually they find a new target and leave him alone, and it just all blows over. But basically, he took chemical castration pills for like 3 days because they were so worried about losing their primetime spot. That would not happen today, hopefully. So it's a funny story. I probably have not done it justice at all, but it is an entertaining tale nonetheless. I wish I had been a little more prepared for it. So yeah, I don't think you're a jerk, OP. I think that you folks handled it in an appropriate way to tell, talking to her about, age appropriate type things. So yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, she's 12. She keeps bringing it up because she gets a reaction from mom. Just ignore it and she'll stop. And OP says, that's what I said. Ignoring kids is their kryptonite. You should stop paying attention to them and they'll just move on to something else. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. Let me know what kind of beverage you have and let me know what kind of beverage I have.
I have water.
Amber has water. Well, a book just appeared in my hand. Wow! I was drinking tea and then magic.
The magic of editing.
Did you hear about the baker who left his job? He didn't need the dough. That's terrible. I love it. I love it. And I have Mega Mint tea today. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Happy Tuesday, happy Friday, Junior, or whatever we ended up settling on. Junior Eve. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.